Welcome back to Charity Farms. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Tate. Today we are actually going to talk about trellising and how to actually create a trellis for your vining plants. I am a former military individual, and I am very rough around the edges when it comes to holding things. So to be gentle around plants it's very, very hard for me to do. So in order for me to create a trellis, I can't tie it around the plant. I'll pull the root out, and I know that. Some people do that. I don't. But I can't tie it into the dirt either because I'll pull the staple out. So I have to think about how am I going to tie this trellis and still keep everything secure, because I know that my strength is brute force. So what I ended up doing, and this is a lot of reasons why I bought buckets for my tomato vines, was because it has a handle, and with that handle I'm able to create those trellises, and that's what I'm going to do. But for the beds that actually have the beans on them, sorry, my phone was going off. But for the trellis with the beans on them, what am I going to do with that is I got a dowel, and I'm not able to show you everything on how I did this because unfortunately the video didn't take it, but I do have a little bit of it, and I'll show you. I'll walk you through this. But basically it's a dowel, and my beds are 6 feet and the dowels are 3 feet or something like that, or 4 feet. So I ended up having to kind of like get two to kind of glue it together, and I just used, the glue that I believe would actually last through this would be like the wood glue, but I got the Gorilla wood glue. Excuse me. And the reason why I wanted wood dowels is because I can nail that into my wood raised bed. But then the question comes into play, what if you have metal raised beds? What if you have a circular container? I don't know. What if, I'm going to use my husband's cup really quick. What if you are having a container and your plants are here, but there's no place to actually put that lid or to trellis it? Like, this is not here. Say that's gone. Well, then, believe it or not, you can use binder clips. And what you'll do is these binder clips, you just use these as the string to hold it. And you can put the trellis, the binder clip, on the cup or on the planter, wherever you're going to use it. And then you have two items here that you can one tie on and the other to, when you're doing the loop around, tie on the next, and that allows it to vine up and secure it. That's what you would do. Thinking outside the box, just trying to think about, everybody's on a budget. What do we have? What can we use? And I'm on a very tight budget, so that's what we're gonna do, and that's what I'm gonna use. But then I'm also gonna walk you through my garden tour and kind of show you this again, show you where we're at. The second week garden tour. Some things have grown, but all you're seeing is just foliage right now, nothing really budding. My olive tree has actually had flowers. Unfortunately, I didn't get it in time, and the birds ate all of the olives. Pesky little buds. But you know what? That's what God does. He gives, whenever you plant a garden, you want to plan for 10% more than what you're going to need, because that's going to go to God's animals for the most part. So I kind of had a feeling the birds would devour those olives. I waited 2 years for those, but that's okay. This is a 1 1/4 inch coupling, which I will use a 1-inch pipe to connect the aluminum eye top and the coupling together to sit on top of the T-post. It does not look very secure, so I'm going to see if that's just my eyesight and place a pole in the loop to see if it will hold or if I do need to make a few minor adjustments. As you can see, the aluminum eye top looks like it's not on very well. I did try to see if I could use a heat gun and have everything mold into each other, but it was not working for me. I need to really get these trellises up, so I'm going to revert back to what I was taught growing up. If you have trouble with something, but need it to stay in one place and do not have the necessary equipment or tools to do so, duct tape is your saving grace. I first started by taping the aluminum top to the coupling, but I still have that 1-inch PVC connecting the coupling and the aluminum top. Then I placed the top on top of the T-post, made sure the eye was facing the way I wanted it to, and then I duct taped the coupling to the T-post. Next, I slid in my 10-foot pole. This looks and feels much more secure. Typically, you want to use twine for trellising. The first container I have does have twine, but I cannot find my other roll, so I will use what I have on hand, which is yarn. What I'm doing now is tying the yarn to one end of the handle to give it a little bit more security. Now I'm just untangling the vine from the yarn so I can continue to trellis. Now that that is untangled, I can pull the yarn up and over the pole above and bring the yarn back down. Now I'm wrapping the yarn underneath the handle right to the plastic, the right side. That plastic's going to keep the yarn in place. Then I'm going to bring it back up around the post again and then back down to the handle, but this time on the left side of the plastic handle. Loop that around, bring the yarn back up, back over the fence post. I'm really short. And now I'm going to bring it down to the other side of the handle, where the handle connects to the bucket, and I'm going to tie it and secure it there. I'm going to repeat this process for the rest of the buckets. For my loofah plants, they are in a smaller outdoor pot, so I'm going to use binder clips, one on each side, to actually allow that trellis for them. The dowels I got from Lowe's are 36 inches long. This allows me about 3 to maybe 5 inches of playroom. I'm going to use that to use the wood glue that you see there, connect the two ends to allow it to hit the 6 feet of the bed that I need it to hit, and then I'm going to secure it with the binder clip and let them dry overnight. So let's go through all the seeds that I do have. And I'm going to actually kind of walk you through this, and I'm just going to kind of like interweave the section where I'm actually talking about this one plant. So, and why did I buy it? So I'm not going in order of the garden right here. I'm going in order of the catalog. I do know that there are some, because I'm using this is what's it called? The Baker's Creek. This is the Baker Creek whole seed catalog for 2024. I know that they don't have all of my seeds in here. I've actually used in my gardener for some of my seeds that are downstairs. So I will try to link or show you an image of those that are down there, and then the other ones that aren't in here are the trees that I actually have, and that I got from Stark Brothers. If they don't have the tree in stock, you're not going to see the picture, But I'll give you the link to Stark Brothers, but I'll do my best to kind of show you images through Google of what these trees should look like and why I bought them. So, to give you a heads up though, to give the one thing to understand about my husband and I is we have a sweet tooth. We like things sweet. But we also have a salty tooth and some things we like to have with sorry, I'm just kind of like organizing this cluster of a mess over here. Sometimes we like to have things that are salty. Sometimes we like to have things that are spicy, and spicy has different flavors. So you're going to see this with a lot of the hot peppers that we have, because I want to make my own hot sauce and also my own hot marinara sauce, because you're missing out on flavors on that, and we want to train our taste buds to handle those heat tolerances, to enjoy those flavors that come with it. And yes, you can train your body, but you got to be persistent. A good example is I was born and I was actually allergic to coconut. If I ate any coconut whatsoever, I would have this huge, massive rash all over me. People who know me have actually seen it. We did a chili cook-off when I lived in Vernal, and that's Vernal, Utah, really close to Dinosaur Monument Park, I believe it's called, Fort Gorge. But we were there was a person who did he won the cook-off. Congrats on him. But he used coconut milk in the chili, and I didn't know about it, and I ate it, and I was like blotched from head to toe because I'm so allergic to coconut, or I was, so shall I say. But there are so many things that have coconut. We actually made it where we carried Benadryl in the car, antihistamines, just in case, because if I'm able to catch it in time, I can take that and it will stop it. If not, I gotta take a steroid to get rid of it. So I finally got so tired of having this allergic reaction, especially for survival purposes, because coconut lasts forever. So there were items that I'm missing out on for survival because I'm allergic to coconut. So I figured, well, how can I get my body to not be allergic to coconut? Now I'm going to say, don't do this without your doctor's approval, because if you have a peanut allergy, that can be death threatening. But for stuff that, you're trying to build a tolerance to, or it's not really a threat, you can try it. But definitely do this after you talk to your doctor. Don't do it with my, here you go, well, T did it, so I can do it. But what I did was I started brushing my teeth with coconut oil and like rubbing it around my gums and just allowing the oils to kind of like penetrate my body. And I had the antihistamine ready, but I'm trying to train my body to take coconut and understand the health benefits of coconut. Finally, it took about a year, but I finally now can have coconut. So the same thing's going to be applied for the heat tolerance for our peppers that we're looking for the hot sauces that we want, because we love Cholula. Oh, Cholula hot sauce is that's our bang. We like it. But there's also poopies. Polish sausages, I guess you could call them, big thick sausages that have different flavors, and some of them have hot heat to them. So we don't want to miss out on the flavor. So we're training our body to adjust to the heat as well. So that's the reason why we're planting a lot of different kinds of peppers, to get our bodies to adjust to the heat. But on top of that, the other thing that we like stuffed poblanos and stuffed Anaheims. That's why we have so many of them in the garden at the moment. Let me go through the catalog and kind of like show you everything that I have and what I got and why I ordered it. Now, some of these seeds I ordered years ago as I was learning and really zealous to get started. And the cardoons. I'm sure I'm going to botch this name. The Gabodinisia gaboons. Those are the lettuce-like. These. Those are those lettuce-like. I got those because they're easy to eat in stir fries. And David and I really like stir fries. We're trying to get really healthy on what we're eating and how much we're eating. So you know that I have the artichokes. Well, that's... Now my artichoke globes have not come up yet. So we'll see what happens with those. I just love artichokes. Those are really yummy. They're good to snack on, and they're actually very filling when you have a nice butter sauce to go with it. We're not big on leftovers. A lot of times we don't really eat leftovers. If there are any leftovers, usually they'll go into the freezer, and they'll only go in the freezer if we like them and we know that they'll freeze well. Like beef curry. We've done some goulash with noodles that goes frozen, but for the most part we just can that. I also have a book on how to preserve your vegetables through a freezer, because we don't have a freeze dryer yet. I will, but that's a long-term goal budget, so that's gonna be a while, but that's okay. But it will teach me how to actually use vegetables in the freezer, or how to prepare food with those vegetables in the freezer and use them at a later date. Then the asparagus, I got the 2 asparaguses. I got the one I can't really pronounce, which is, no, where's my thing? Which is this one right here. And it's, I would say, the Precose Dark Tunnels. They may be white, they may not be white. They might be green, I don't know. The sprouts that are coming out are green. But I also got the Mary Washingtons. Those right there. They're right here. So, looking forward to those. I love asparagus. I'm the only one that eats them, but asparagus takes about 2 years to grow. From what I understand, and I'll do more research, but I know the first year is you pretty much let it sprout and don't pick it. If you do pick it, maybe you might thin it out for the most part and eat the ones that you thin out. I'm not quite sure yet, but I do know it takes 2 years. That I do know. So going on to my next item was, all right, so I got the Chinese noodle beans. Oh, that's that pink one right there. Now David and I grew that 2 years ago. Absolutely love them. They are so good and they work really well in stir fries. So that's why we got those. Now the snake bean. This thing is huge. That's a snake bean. Why did I buy a snake bean? Well, when I read the descriptions, its fruit tastes much like a green bean. So I'm like, well, that's perfect, because David and I like green beans, and if these are beans, they're a different type, which I think would be really fascinating. I like different colors and different types and different textures. See if we actually like that, and if that's the case, we can can it. That's really big, so I can can it and slice and freeze, and it'll be really fun. That's why I bought that. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm trying to go through all of these tabs, so bear with me. Okay, the next tab is, okay, so, oh, that's the edamame. That's the soybean. I got that because soybeans are used a lot for preserving, and that's just something good to have. Let's see. And Japan actually regards it as a sweet flavor. So I'm like, well, that's something that David and I like. We have a sweet tooth. So anything that kind of helps that sweet tooth without having to go to the actual sugar itself, we're all about. And then, of course, I bought, the other thing that you see is I got both the winged bean and the chickpea. Now, I have the garbanzo chickpea because David likes hummus, and that's the bean that you need to make hummus. That's why I planted 4 of them. The wing bean I got because it's just cool looking. But really, it's also because, let me go into there. So the vines are lush and tropical looking with large lavender flowers. And I think that's going to be really pretty to have a lavender kind of going over that. But they are traditionally, and this is a big one, blanched and stir-fried with a Japanese plum. But they're part of the stir-fry family. The Siamese bitter melon. It is, oh, sorry, right here. That's our Siamese bitter melon. Siamese bitter melon. And the reason why I got bitter melon is because bitter melon actually has a lot of medicinal properties. I've done a lot of studying and a lot of like researching how do you cook bitter melon, because it's bitter melon for a reason. It's bitter. So how do you get rid of that bitter flavor? A lot of people don't like bitter. But it has a plethora of medicinal properties. So what you end up doing is, from what I've read and watched and overlooked and done things on, was you have to actually put it in salt. You have to let it, like the salt, soak and pull out that bitterness. That's true also for like some cucumbers. When you're actually doing cucumbers or Armenians, or if you want that sweeter flavor, you put salt in and it pulls out that bitterness. So that made sense to me. I was like, okay. And then you can make so many things with bitter melon. And I want to include this into our diet, because when you allow your body a chance to have the foods that have all these good benefits, your body will start to crave them more and more. But you have to allow that chance. And if you're not liking something because it's bitter, you won't eat it again. So I had to find out how to actually research how to get rid of that bitter flavor. But I like the colors. They're awesome. But basically, bitter melon, and this is the other reason why I was so big on this one for David and I, is both my parents are diabetic. So that puts me at a high risk of being diabetic myself. My husband's, I think it's his maternal grandmother was diabetic, but his mom's not. But his dad was he was pre-diabetic. So we have to be really careful on the diabetes in our family, and also the fact we have a sweet tooth. So another reason why I'm like, how do I do this? So bitter melon has been revered in the Eastern traditional medicine as a panacea for digestion and blood sugar issues for centuries. And that would be the big reason, is it's the blood sugar. So I really want to get us accustomed to bitter melon. And I love this book because even this book has recipes. It shows how to actually make certain things. So I'm actually looking forward to trying that. And you see it says, first instruction, salt the bitter melon slices and let them sit for 15 to 20 minutes. That's how you get rid of the bitter. Go figure. All right, chamomile. That is the chamomile that I got, the one with the tab. This I planted, the chamomile, believe it or not, I planted, I want to say 2 years ago, but it's perennial, so it just keeps coming. I did put it in a grow bag, but the container it started in, I just put the whole thing in there and then I removed the container, so it's just going to keep going. And we're okay with it because chamomile actually calms your nerves and helps you sleep. So, and I love the smell of chamomile. Oh, it's so yummy. But fair note, if you have animals, don't let them have it. It's actually bad for them. Right, now remember that I had that whole bed of gentleman corn for a couple of reasons. One, you can actually weave baskets out of it. You can use so many things with the entire stalk, on top of, just the fact it's corn and we love corn. And the reason why I got this corn is because it bears sweet, milky, and tender kernels on 8-inch horns. 8-inch ears. I'm a little out of it there. And so this is what it looks like. Oh goodness. It's the one at the bottom. Okay. So, you're getting all my animals today. So I got the Biston. There's a fly around here, so the cats are trying to catch it right now. So I got the Boston pickling cucumber. Pretty self-explanatory. So I like pickles, but I don't like the jarred pickles. I like fermented pickles. They are so good and so crisp. So I got the dishcloth loofah. Now, there are a couple of reasons why I planted loofahs. One was because I want my own sponges for my dishes and make sure it's nice and healthy. But two, when I'm using my aquaponics, the sponges that you can buy is fine, but I want to know how I can do everything from scratch without having to buy anything. So this is a natural sponge. You don't want to use store-bought sponges. I did that and it killed my fish. That has certain chemicals in there. So I figured, well, let me do this because this is a natural. They can have it. This is a plant. They can actually eat it. So I figured, well, let me try this and see if I can get the seeds to start that way, because I also want to teach you guys how to use aquaponics and hydroponics when you don't really know very much to how to get it started. All right. Now remember, I pruned the heck out of it, but those are my ground cherries. Make sure I'm on the right page. There you go. For the most part, it was. Nope, it was this one. Nope. There you go. It's this one. Hold on. Nope. Okay. And we like ground cherries because, well, they're tomatoes and they actually do taste like cherries. They're pretty yummy, really. All right. Now, I got the Quiana Rund melons, and the reason why I got those was because there's two types that they have here. They have a Quiana horned cucumber, and then they have a Quiana Rund. And the reason why I didn't do the horned cucumber is because their description was a sweet, sour, banana, lime, tropic fruit taste. It didn't seem too pleasing to me. The Quiana Rund, it has a sweet and delicious, which is compared to a banana and lemon taste. And to me, that sounded really yummy. So I got that. I also got, the Bulgarian leeks. They're a type of onion, and those would be really good in stir fries. That's why I got the leeks. But they are 3 years old. So nothing's come up yet. We'll see. Okay, Kajari melon. Oh my gosh, do I love the Kajari melons. So, Kajari melons are cubic, but round. I mean, I plan on making some pickled Kajari melons with that. It's gonna be so yummy. Nacho's determined to get this fly, but that fly is determined to be on our ceiling, which is 9 feet high. All right, the okra that you saw me plant, I believe it's called the burgundy okra. It's like my favorite okra. I've actually tried all of them. I tried the crimson okra, the okra, what's it called? The Red Hill Country okra. So many types of okra, and It was this burgundy okra that I really enjoyed because it wasn't so thick that I couldn't enjoy it, and it didn't have the fuzz that was on it. The rest of the, like the Clemen okras, even though that's what I grew up with and that's what I know, it was too fuzzy for me. I could eat it. I just don't like the fuzz that prolific, shall I say. Fuzz doesn't bother me. It's just the fact it was just a little too much. It's kind of like I love mushrooms, but I can't eat them whole because it's too much. They have to be in little bites. I guess it's the texture. That's what it is. It's the texture. I didn't like the texture. And the hill or the red hill or whatever, those are just they're so thick that it just didn't feel right around my mouth. Where the burgundy, they were right. They had that right amount of, I forgot what it's called, but it's that sliminess that you get. So it's not too much of it, and the right amount of fuzz, and they are delicious. I love okra. No, my husband doesn't, so the okra's all mine. That's why I only planted so many. But I am trying another okra that didn't produce when I got it, and it's called like I forgot what it was. It's downstairs. It's like the pink Chinese okra. I don't know. I tried to plant it when I planted the other okras. That never germinated. So I probably did it wrong, or there's something going on, or there just could be other things. So I figured, well, let me try it again this year. Now that I'm not in ground and I'm actually doing raised bed garden, see if this actually plants. All right, so for my onions, because you saw me plant onions, you need the akatama salad. Really, the onions are mainly for David. He loves onions. If you ask him what his favorite vegetable is, he would tell you it's onion. And right next to it is peanut butter or peanuts, even though that's a legume. Then I also have the red of Florence. I really like the fact that those look like more like shallots and they're red. Let's see. And then I got the violet de Gaume, and of course our shallots. Shallots are they're just a milder taste of onions. And then we got the bunching onions, which those are just like you can get those at the grocery store for relatively cheap, but I'd rather grab my own because at least I know where they came from. All right, speaking of hot peppers, I'm sure I'm going to be botching a lot of these names, but the Anaheim and the poblano are almost similar. I believe the Anaheim is milder than the poblano. I could be wrong. I'll double check. But I do know that we planted both of them because we like stuffed peppers. Now I got the ají charapita. No, let's try this again. The ají charapita. There you go. These are like really small orange peppers. Those are good, like little popper things. And those would just be good. One, just to test it, but also just to like put with our side dishes or something like that if we wanted to. It's also known as the most expensive hot pepper in the world. It's also known as the mother of all chilies. This would be good in chilies too if you want a hot chili. The big gems, those were when you actually order from Baker Creek and you order so many seeds, you get a free seed package. And they gave me Big Gem. So I figured, well, okay, well, we'll try it and let's see, because I wouldn't know unless they sent it to me. That's why I have it. That's why it's in there. They're good for chili rellenos, grilling, or stuffing. They have a medium heat tolerance. A little bit milder than a jalapeno. The ají mango. The reason why I got these is because they have a mango sweetness with a nice searing heat. Just Could you just imagine just like a really good mango sweet that has a little bit of heat to it? Oh, that sounds so good. I got cayenne, purple cayenne that I put in there, but it's not here in Baker Creek because I bought that from Emma Gardner. I will try to link, if I can find it, I'll link it here. So the next is the Sugar Rush Peach. I bought that about, I think I bought that last year with David. We went to a hydroponic store as I was looking for stuff that I needed for the aquaponics. Now for my sweet peppers, I bought a Havarsky, and that's a very thick red skin. They almost look like a bell pepper, but then I also got the lipstick. And the reason why I was looking for these thicker skin peppers is for the marinara sauce. These would be really good roasted. They would bring more sweetness and more flavor to the marinara sauce. And then Lasea is the same thing. It's almost like a Havarsky and a lipstick. But the reason why I grew all three was because I want to know which one's better for me. And then we have the Kabarti dyed. I will plant more because these are good stir fries. The Violet Sparkle, again, that's just the fact that it's another pepper. It's for marinara, but also for just peppers if we want something to eat with peppers. So, because that's the other thing that we like. And then, of course, Yellow Monsters. Yellow Monsters, really what they look like, and you'll see the picture, but they look like elongated bell peppers, green bell peppers, and elongated yellow bell peppers. That's really what they look like. And then the mini bells, that's exactly what they are. They're bell peppers that only get yay so big. And then there are two types of radishes that I have. We have the Red Beauty, and the radishes that I have are actually sweet. That's what the packet actually shows. So they say that radishes are good to be pickled. They're also good in salads and soups. The radishes that I've had at the store, I don't like. Neither does David. But those are also more spicy, more of a spice than sweet. So I figured we'll try it, and we'll try our own variation. So that's why I have two radishes and not very many places for radishes, because I want to see if I'll actually eat it. It's a test. I'm not sure if I will or not. Because you need to plant what you know you're going to eat. Because if you don't eat it, you're just wasting space for stuff that you will eat. David and I are more of like zucchini eaters. We like squash, but we'll eat zucchini more than we will squash. So we have the long white zucchini, which that's what that's supposed to look like. And we just like the zucchini, that's why it's there. The zucchini rampicante. Let's try that again. The zucchinio rampicante, I guess. I bought that for two reasons. One, it's like a zucchini, but two, you can use it as a winter squash. So we got the Big Mac's pumpkin, is something that you already see coming through. Now, when I get there, the Long Island cheese pumpkin is the other one we planted. I'm not seeing any growth yet. So I'm debating what should I put there instead. Should I do another Big Mac's, or should I do a curry, red, it's called a red curry. I have that too. Or any kind of like a different kind of like winter squash. We have Blue Hubbard. But any ideas that I'm not big on. We do have spaghetti squash, but I'm not big on actually eating those. We like butternut squash, but I already have two jumbo pink squashes for that. But like I'm leaning towards, if that doesn't come out, if I want to do a red curry, which are a little smaller. I'm not sure if I want to do the sugar, what's it called, the sugar pumpkin, because I think it's too watery. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do I want to replace that if that doesn't come through. The other thing I have are the sweet dumplings, and they do actually taste, it's like a sweet taste to it, but they could also be part of like what you would do for canning pumpkin puree. And I'm wondering if that's what I want to do. So tell me in the comments below, what would you recommend? Okay. Now, of course, you saw my stevia. What I found fascinating was when I actually transplanted the stevia into the cloth bag, the original stems started to brown, so they didn't make it. However, the foliage that you're seeing now, those are new plants, so it's good to know that they actually produce more plants like that. So I'm gathering and hypothesizing. I can't validate it or prove it yet, but I believe that they're a lot like any other herb that you harvest. Like when you harvest it, it will multiply even more. So I'm letting it grow, and then I'll harvest some more. And it does actually, I like the fact that it's stevia because I can dehydrate it, and then I can use that for my sweetener. And I know that there's no other chemical in there but stevia, which I'm okay with. I don't care if it's green color, that's natural. White means that you pulled stuff out and you used chemicals to get there. So I'm not too fond of the whiteness on that. I know this video was a bit longer, and as I was going through my editorials, I realized that I forgot to record the progress of my tomato plants. But because it was already 40 minutes that I already have in here, I figured what I'll do is I'll just do an Instagram post and I'll kind of show you what's going on with my tomatoes and my tomatillos. But the few peppers that we didn't get, that I didn't show you in this video, that I also planted, was the jalapeno, the lemon drop pepper, and the datils. So I'm actually looking forward to these peppers. We should be getting them, when you saw the ones that were in white, we should be getting those in about maybe a month and a half. The ones that were written in purple, those were the ones that I had to replant because the previous ones had died. So you can go back through and kind of like highlight and see really where those were. I'm sorry that, you know, it's a little shorter than normal on that one, but because it was such a long video, I was trying to make up for the time for the most part. But I do hope that you actually poll what I should replace for the Long Island cheesecake pumpkin, because, or the Long Island cheese, it did not germinate. I could do another Big Mac's pumpkin, which is fine, but I like variety. So I will actually put a polling, and let me know, should it be the red curry, should it be the sweet dumpling, or should it be the blue Hubbard? And based off of your votes, that's what I'll plant. Until next time, God bless you. Bye.